featuring 78 RPM with lead singer John White.
I'm not very good at is subtlety.
Yeah.
Apparently, I've been told I'm not very subtle.
You're not very subtle. Well, I don't know if there was anything subtle about Best Friend to Enemy, man. But I mean, when I'm watching that, I'm just like, ooh, man, should I be watching this? And then as I'm thinking, should I be watching this? And I'm watching this, and then my kid's looking over my shoulder. I'm like, ooh!
My friend said, he's like, that's the best pegging, sword flaming, fire dancing video I've ever seen.
That is too funny, dude. Oh my God. That's great. That's great. All right. Well, Rock Titan Nation, we are here with 78 RPM once again. Now, for everyone that's been watching us, since last year, it's hard to believe that it was already last year in 2016 that we first got to catch up with these guys courtesy of HyPR Media. But, man, I'll tell you what, these guys have been busy, and I had to reach out to John White and say, dude, things have changed a little bit since we featured Free America on Rock Titan TV. So, John, how you doing, man?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Good. It's so funny because, of course, I've been following you guys ever since we had a chance to talk because I love the stuff that you guys are doing. And I saw this Twitter post of yours, and then it featured this new music video. So I went and I go check out this new music video because I'm like, Free America. Free America was pretty cool, so I'm like, what could these guys possibly have up their sleeves now? I'm just like, oh my goodness. And it's funny because you just had your lady on here a little earlier. I'm like, oh man, that's not her in that video tying that dude down, is it?
No, so that's, her name is Anna Pipoyan. She is actually very famous belly dancer and flame dancer.
Really?
Who did well on America's Got Talent. And she's just an unbelievable talent.
Ooh, yeah. I would say there's some talent there. And it's just so funny because it's like, man, I'm thinking back to your, Free America video, and then I see this and I'm just like, free me from this chair.
Yes.
We're still talking about freeing from bondage. We're talking about freeing from bondage just in a very different way, huh?
I guess there's a theme about a lot of our songs about possible bondage-related issues.
Oh, man. So obviously, since 2016, 78 RPM dug down deep and said, guys, it's a whole new year. And because it's a whole new year, it's time for a whole new theme. We're patriotic, and now we're going to go erotic. Makes sense. It's just the natural evolution of things.
I don't think the two are separate or, there's a lot of borderlines between the two. Yeah. I feel like you can be both.
No. You go from freedom to free love, and, it's all good. It's
Absolutely.
all good. So who's the mind behind this? Is this a collaborative effort between all you guys still, or is one of you guys saying, you know what, we need a little more S&M?
I mean, I feel like we have a lot of conversation to start with. We need a little bit more S&M in our lives. But I think that this video, we were going just back and forth on how to describe it. It's really about a relationship and how when a relationship goes from good to bad.
Okay.
And I think there's not many people who have ventured into adulthood who couldn't relate to that pain.
Sure.
And it's really about how when, you end a relationship, you go from a best friend who's someone you talk to 5 times a day, and you email and you text and you Skype and they're your everything, and then all of a sudden you end that relationship and they're your enemy. And, that has consequences in your life. Everything, your friends take sides. It sort of spills over into all parts of your life.
I've been married for 16 years, man. I know.
Yeah, see?
We when we first met and got married, we were still friends. Now we're enemies.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you
married?
I love you, babe. Just kidding.
It's that whole theme, and when Rich started this beat, and in our writers and producers. So every song varies as to where the concept comes from.
Sure.
And Rich started this beat, and it's something he was working on, this drum pattern. He's like, and he called me. He's like, I think you're gonna like this. And gave it to me, and I kind of sat on it for 2 weeks, and I was just at the end of a long and tumultuous relationship, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And I went out one night with some friends and had a few drinks, and I rolled into the studio, and he was still working, and I was like, yo, throw up that beat. And most of the melody and lyrics were kind of freestyled that night.
Oh, yeah?
And he just sent me into the booth and hit record, and that's how we came up with most of the song. I mean, we refined it a little bit.
Okay.
But most of that was a sort of improv performance.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of what came out, what happens when things do go bad.
Right, right.
And
you wind up in leather and chains and tied down and getting whipped and beat and, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, it's a little bit of like that man-eater vibe.
Right.
Of how a woman can take over your life and and how when
women
hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Damn right. Yeah.
And we played with a lot of concepts for the video. The original idea in my mind was actually very comedic, about having this woman like dragging bodies through the streets and trying to like lift them into dumpsters, and then the guys being alive and singing to each other. But
great.
I didn't think we could pull it off, to be honest with you. So it was way more Adam Sandler than I think we have in us, and we started just talking about this idea, and then. To be fair, I'm going to actually call GC out on this one, and he's going to kill me for saying so, but we started coming up with this S&M concept, and he's like, it would be awesome if we have a chick with a giant black dildo.
Oh my god, dude.
Now that you said it, we're going to do it.
Oh my god, dude.
Then it came down to the day of the shoot, and I tried to send him out to stores in Queens to go find a giant black dildo. He's like, I can't do that.
Oh my god.
My girlfriend, I was like, you gotta go find a porn store or like an adult store and go find
adult store. They're not porn stores, they're adult stores, John.
I'm sorry, and
come on.
So we this whole concept from concept to casting all happened in about 48 hours.
Wow. You guys don't mess around. Look at this, Jesus. Oh my God.
It's like, again, Rich, GC, and I are all writers and producers. We've all been in and around this world with writing and producing for artists and working with artists. And, music today, more so than ever, has become such a visual medium.
Yeah, and, definitely.
The videos that we can do, and put together are so important.
I agree. Yes.
We have so many friends that work on all sides of the business now.
Right.
And, Rich, our co-writer and the drummer in the band, he was moving to LA.
Okay.
Just released a song back in January. It started getting picked up on radio, and all of a sudden, the first week, like 10 or 12 stations picked it up, and then it was 25 stations, and then X1075 in Vegas started playing it and put us in their Battle of the Bands.
Wow.
We won 8 nights in a row in the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
And
nice.
They're like, hey, we need a video for the song. And Rich was moving to LA, so we had a few days to do this. And we put it together and called some friends of ours who were great camera guys.
Okay.
These guys are from RK Cinematics. And I have some friends who own a great studio called Chemistry Creative in Bushwick, in Brooklyn. And I was like, hey guys, we need a warehouse space, and I got a few cameras, and I'm going to cast this video tomorrow, and we're going to come in and shoot on Thursday.
Wow.
They're like, all right, if you can do it. And
there you go.
We were up till all hours the night before trying to figure out shots and how to do it.
That's killer.
And the cool thing is we got a great actor, Adam Davenport, who is a lot of fun, and Anna.
Yeah, definitely.
They were up for all of our crazy ideas.
Oh, man.
And we came up with this concept of it's like 50 Shades of Grey turned into a Dexter snuff film.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it, man.
The whole concept is that this couple is filming their lives. They're filming themselves, having these, S&M and bondage scenes, and they're putting that out on the internet.
Yeah.
And then, obviously something goes wrong in their relationship, and then, by the end, she's, putting out on the internet her execution of him.
Yeah.
And if, the amazing thing in, living in a city like New York is we put out a casting call, and in 24 hours, 300 people submit themselves for the video.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
And the amazing thing was, Caitlin, my girlfriend and production assistant,
okay.
She's like, you should watch all their videos. And we started watching their videos. Right. And she's like, this girl dances with fire. I was like, yes, she does. We need a girl that dances with fire.
Oh, my God.
And I wrote to her, and she said, I'm performing at the Russian embassy in Washington tomorrow.
Wow.
But if I take a 3 o'clock, train home, I can be there for a 7 o'clock shoot. And I was like, listen, if you're going to come dance with fire, we will wait and we can shoot overnight.
Yeah.
And, they were great. The way they were willing to go with all the ideas. We had so much fun and laughed so hard, during if you watch the outtakes of the video, which I should send you, it's amazing.
Yeah, we got to get them up there on Rock Titan TV, man. We need everyone to see exactly what went into this masterpiece. Again, for everyone that's watching, we are here with John White from 78 RPM out of New York City. And, this is quite the sequel to Free America, best friend to enemy. And it really is amazing, the cool thing is, and again, and we kind of touched on this last time when, when we first met back in November, the pool of talent that you guys have, as a unit, all you guys together with your backgrounds and, media and entertainment and, just the creative lifestyles that you guys have. And here it is on full display, and you're able to pull something like this off. Something that most people would look at, and you see this video, you're like, man, this is like, this is a major production. How do you get the people, needed for something like this involved in the kind of time span that you're talking about? But then again, like you said, you're up there in New York City, you've got tons of contacts and resources, and boom, before you know it, people are dressed up in tight leather and chains and whipping one another.
Yeah, it is the type of city where, I got on the phone with Anna, and she's like, I got lots of costumes. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I have flaming things that I do dances with. I was like, yes, God, I want everything that goes on fire.
Flames, juggling fire, nipples on fire, yes.
It's, but they were so on board and just so open to having fun, quite honestly.
Yeah.
And then we got great band shots in the same space. We're literally shooting those same things with the same cameras, 5 feet away. And the background of all the band shots is just a garage door in Brooklyn. But
that's amazing, man. That really is.
But where the concept, a friend of mine, when he heard the song, he's like, this reminds me a little bit of that Mudvayne song. And so he's like, you should go check them out.
Oh, no kidding.
And those guys, and they had this amazing video with all these distorted colors, and
yep.
I was like, we can do this.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Distorted colors, we can pull this off.
Yeah.
And it's, it's portraying an image of what you feel the song's about, and trying to just give a visual to the music. And it's also supposed to be sarcastic.
Sure.
A lot of this, there's this sort of whole level of we all take our lives a little too seriously, and everything that's going wrong in our lives we focus on, and it becomes all encompassing.
Nothing like a little S&M to break up the monotony, man.
Exactly. There's nothing like pegging to break up your week.
Oh God.
I sent it to a friend of mine. He's like, wow, this guy. He's like, he truly gets fucked in this video. He's bent over, he's whipped, and then he's bent over a chair, and then you kill him with a flaming sword.
No, look at this. Yes, I think we're right there at that part. You know, she's like doing the dance of death here. I'm getting ready to send a blade of fire up your keister. Yeah.
Although I do have to say, stay tuned because our next video is very different.
Yeah, all right. I love it, man. You guys keeping us on our toes. Like I said, man, you guys go from patriotic to erotic. Now, one of the things that you had divulged to me not long ago is that you've got Dynamite coming out.
Dynamite is coming out soon.
So, yes. So tell me real quick about Dynamite. I know you've got better things to do here on a Wednesday evening in New York City with a beautiful girlfriend. So, but let's talk real quick about Dynamite, man. What do people got to get braced for here?
So Dynamite is actually really, it's a very personal song. It is, how to describe it? So we were in the studio again, and we were writing, and we were writing with a friend of mine, Christian Metis, who's an incredible producer. Okay. And the concept became about we were all talking about our grandfathers and the greatest generation and what those guys meant to us, and how every one of them, when push came to shove, they all put their lives on the line for what America stands for and what we, all strive to be. Sure. And my grandfather was a paratrooper in Normandy and spent 5 years overseas during World War II. And there's a giant American flag hanging in our studio, and
no kidding.
We were working on this music, and we had some lyrics, and all of a sudden it just sort of dawned on us that Dynamite it's the song about it's really about the paratroopers who jumped on the night of Normandy.
Wow, man. Wow.
And one of the lyrics is, we are thieves dancing in the night. And it's all about the guys who, at 12 o'clock, they jumped out of the planes and they fell behind enemy lines, not knowing where they were going to be, where they're going to land next to, where they're going to land in the right spot, and where they're even going to get there. Wow. And it sounds like a big rock song.
Sure. Sounds epic.
In this sort of
definitely epic, man.
Imagine Dragons fun style, production of a big rock song. And you could think it's all about just having a great night out. Right. But the song is really about the guys who, sacrifice themselves to, free an entire continent. Yeah. And it's when you look at the lyrics from that standpoint, it's very different than probably what you would experience from your first listen, which is very intentional. Right. We've designed it to be a rock party song. Okay. And the idea is that the first lieutenant who's leading these 19 and 20-year-old guys off the planes, this is what he's telling them before they jump. And they're all saying, the lyric is, "We are dynamite." And they're all going out and, knowing that they might not come back. And as the song progresses, there's a sort of repeat, in the final chorus. And it starts out with these trumpets leading this very, sounds like a cavalry charge. Oh, wow. And at the end of the song, the men are still singing, but it turns into a sort of deluge of trumpets, almost playing like a taps-like theme. Wow. And for all the guys left behind. So it's, there's a lot of layers to it.
Deep. This is deep. You're getting cerebral with this one, man.
The artwork is pretty amazing. And
exactly.
We've met a girl, a Colombian artist out of Colombia who worked on another one of our clients' albums, actually. Wow. And she did such cool artwork. We contacted her, and we have, asked her to create an original piece of artwork for each song, which I feel like people aren't paying attention to anymore. Right. And, you look back at, great Beatles albums or Doors albums, and the artwork means something to the music. Yep. Yeah, and
definitely.
The piece of art that she created for Dynamite it's spectacular.
Oh, now when can we expect this to drop? When are we going to see this?
It's going to come out in it's 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah.
All right.
We're working on the sort of video concepts now, and the song will be out at You guys will get it in 2 to 3 weeks. It'll be public probably around May 6th or 7th.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear, man. That's what I like to hear, man. This is good.
We're really proud of this one.
Nice.
And the fun thing about us is we've got 22 more songs already lined up.
Oh my God! Wow. So the wheels have been turning, man. You guys have really been busy.
We're trying to figure out how to release them. That's sort of the next. I think we're going to drop the EP in mid-May.
Yeah, I was going to say, wow.
And now we're debating if the guys are like, well, I thought we were going to put out 4 or 5 songs. They're like, listen, you're at 22 songs finished. Why are you holding them back?
You got that's like 2 full LPs, man.
So I think we're going to put out more than we thought. But
wow.
So
nice.
it's super fun.
Nice. So with all of this going on, we've been talking about all the writing and all the amazing work that you guys are doing. Any live performances that we're going to be sprinkling in there? You guys going to be doing a little bit of touring?
We're going to probably do an EP release in May. We'll probably do a big show for that.
Okay.
And then we're probably going to do a New York residency for the summer, and then we're sort of planning probably a tour for the Southwest and West Coast.
Okay.
Into the summer.
Very cool. All right, man. All right. Well, we definitely, whenever you're doing anything in New York, because we're down here in Philadelphia, I definitely got to get up there, man. I got to catch up with you guys, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. You guys got some awesome stuff going on, and I'm missing out.
No, man. Well, listen, I'm always happy to come down to the city of Berlin.
Yeah. Well, we can definitely hook that up. Well, John, I know that I only hit you up not too long ago for this interview, and you were gracious enough to accommodate as you were last time, and it is always a pleasure talking to you, and I really appreciate your time. And, dude, congratulations on all the success, and, dude, just amazing. I mean, again, for everybody watching, we are here with John White, 78 RPM, and, man, this is some video, dude. From best friends to enemies. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, John. Well, have a good night, man. I appreciate it.
Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Later.